Hi guys, good morning. We're going to do Backsplash today at pattern-collections.com. I've already done Backsplash once before, so there's my video from last time. So I'm going to do it slightly different this time and see what comes of it. Okay. So that's a grid pattern. We're going to work on grids this week. And I'm going to do some non-standard grids, so that'll be fun. So a standard grid would be a straight line grid like this, just your straights. But a non-standard grid would have some curve to it, maybe some linear like fans. There's a variety of non-standard grids. I'll show you that in a second. So Backsplash is fairly simple. You'll do your grid, and then from corner to corner diagonally you'll do that, and then on either side of that line you're going to do that. So you have 3 lines going diagonally, and then from one corner you're going to come outward like this with a radial, and from the other corner you're going to do petals. And you can either do it you know, exactly this way, or you can turn those spots going different directions. And apparently last time, what did I do last time? Last time it looks like I did my diagonals the same, but some of them I did the radial on one side, and some I did the radial on the other. So we'll see what I decide I'm going to do. Oops, wrong place. I went back one too many. And then of course you do your shading. Some of the different ways you can do your, let me turn on my light. Oh, very bright. Let me get my overhead light on too. Better. Some of the ways you can do your grids, I'm going to get just a little piece of scratch paper here and just do them really quick. Your standard grid is going to be like, you know, like tic-tac-toe. Straight this way and straight that way. Okay. That's going to be your standard grid. But then you can do grids that maybe the template, if you go into templates, template number, I believe it was 55 or 56, showed a grid that had a middle straight line, and then it bulged out like this, and then had something like that. Can you see that? I've done them where I still kind of do like this, but I kind of go at an angle, like so. I've done them where I do them radially, where it comes outward this way, and then like that. So there's a variety of ways you can do a non-standard you can even do one where it's wavy, like so. So however you draw your base grid really affects how your pattern looks. And I'm going to try that with this pattern. I think I'm going to try that sort of bulbous radial kind of one, the template one. I'm going to try that. Let me move my paper over. Let me zoom in. So I like to have a border. Not everybody does. but I do. So I'm going to draw myself a little border. And I don't always put the border in, but I like to not draw right up against the edge of my paper. But I think this time I may use the border. I'm not sure. I'm going to draw just lightly in pencil. Something like that. And then something like that. Can you see that? There we go. You can kind of see what I did. And then I need to decide, am I going to draw that whole thing, or am I going to just draw this part? I think I'm just going to draw that part. I'm not going to draw this outside bit. And this particular pattern, you're supposed to draw the grid in pen, so I will do that. I'm going to erase this bit. It almost looks like what is it called? A Mercator map? Looks like a map when you have that the world all stretched out like that. Kind of cool. All right, so start with pen. Go with this size, and I'm going to draw this end and this end and the straight one down kind of the middle. Like so. And you'll notice I'm not drawing exactly on my pencil lines. My pencil lines are just a guide. They're not set in stone. And then I'm wondering if I want to make it a little going this way as well. Instead of straight across. Like that. All right, I like that shape. Now to erase all my guidelines because I don't need them. How's you guys' day? By the time you see this, I will have been back from vacation for a while, but on the day I'm recording it is the day I'm leaving for my bike ride weekend, so that will be fun. Looking forward to spending some time with friends, getting away from work. Oh, the last few days at work have just been horrendous. I don't know if it's just because I've been anticipating vacation or if it, I don't know, it's just been horrendous. Okay, so do I want, a question for myself here is, do I want all my pieces to go the same direction, or do I want to play with, at the same time, play with them going different directions? Maybe I'll play with them going that way and this way, like half going one way, half going the other. I think that's where I'm gonna yeah, okay, I like that. Don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. And I think instead of doing straight lines, since my grid isn't straight, I'm going to put a bit of a curve to that initial line that goes across. Hopefully you guys can see and you don't get too much of a shadow. I've been trying to mess with my lights a little bit. I know it's been giving you a bit of a shadow, and I'm going to try to hold my pen back a little bit so my fingers aren't as close to my pen tip to hopefully create less of a shadow. I'm just going to go ahead and draw all 3 lines at once, kind of as one step. My fingernail broke. Work. I don't like having one that's way shorter than the others, so I will probably just cut them all off, make them all the same on both hands, and just let them all grow back out. It wasn't my plan, because we're going to go on the cruise, and I was hoping to have nice pretty nails for the cruise for formal night, but that's not going to happen, which is okay. You know, I'm not super stressed over it. It's just a 4-day cruise, and it's casual cruise line. It's not one of those ones where formal really actually does mean formal, like the gentlemen wearing tuxedos and the women wearing ball gowns. Formal night is more like, oh, you guys can't see. I zoomed in too far. I was way off the page. I'm sorry. Formal night on those cruises is more like, dressy casual, like a nice outfit that you might wear to a wedding, or a nice night out to a restaurant that's not you know, not a casual dining restaurant, a fancy restaurant. That's more of the thing, but it doesn't have to be formal like meeting the governor, meeting the president formal. Not like that. Meeting the queen formal. Nope, it's not that kind of event. Not a fancy dress ball kind of thing. Much more of a nice dinner type thing. So, you know, if my nails aren't perfect. Oh, I didn't do this one. I missed one. See how that one just completely changes shape? Look at that. So I was going to come home from the bike ride and do my nails. Put on a little bit of nail polish for the rest of the week. But now I'm not sure I'm going to even bother. I am looking forward to cruising with our friends from church that are coming with us. I've never vacationed with them before. And so that will be fun, I think. It's always fun to vacation with people you've never traveled with before. That makes an interesting shape, doesn't it? See how just changing the grid just makes it look completely different? Now I need to decide which side do I want the radial part and which side do I want the petal part, or do I even want to do the petal part? That I'm not sure. Okay, that's what that would look like. Or no, don't like that. I have to go the same way but opposite. Okay, so it's going to be on the bottom. My radial part is going to come here. Like that. I think I need one more. And then I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to try doing different grid styles this week and see what happens. Not all of the patterns that were listed on Pattern Focus for this week lent themselves to grid, because the grid focus in the group kind of came about on a previous week, but I'd already drawn, because I always draw ahead, and so I had already drawn that, so it didn't match up with the week, which is okay. That's going to happen sometimes. I'm going to try to remember what things we're focusing on at a particular time, but I may be off and I may not do the group focus at all. That was really wonky. I'm not caring for what I just did with the line. Let's pay more attention here. But I'm going to try, so if they have like a themed thing in the group, like steampunk or I don't know, circles, or I don't know what they're planning for the group, but if they have a theme for the group, I'm going to try to do it in my videos, but I may not. I may not be able to make it work, and that's okay. But I just want to let you know that I may or may not follow that trend. I do like this shape that's happening here. That's cool. I should have, oh, you know what it would have looked really cool is when I got to this middle part where it starts to bend the other way, I should have flipped these. Oh well, too late now. If I draw another one, try that. If you end up with a space that looks wrong, that's like too fat, you can always come in with another line. That's all right. So even though I was on vacation today and I didn't have to get up this morning, of course my body is now kind of programmed for getting up at like 6 a.m. And that's when I woke up about 5:45. I was kind of hoping to sleep in a bit, but that's okay. It's going to be like a 2-hour drive. Not a very long drive, but might be 2.5 hours. I may take a nap. Or I may not need a nap. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So tomorrow morning, I don't know what time they want to start their bike ride. Usually these organized rides have a particular start time, and apparently this year they do not have a particular start time, which is really weird. They basically say you start whenever you want to, as long as you have given yourself enough time to complete the route by 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is when everything is going to shut down and close, and they're going to take the support vehicles off the route. They don't close any of the roads, so the cyclists are still riding bikes on regular streets. This particular one is going from a spot in Ventura up to Ojai, and then back down to the beach, and then up the coast a little ways, and then back to the start. So they're making sort of a V. They're going from here, they're going to go up to Ojai, they're going to come back, they're going to come up the coast and come back to the start. So that'll be fun. Myself and the husband of one of the other riders, we do not ride, so we are the support vehicle for them. And what we will do is we will start with them at the beginning, and then we'll decide, you know, where do you want us to be, and we drive ahead of them to the next rest stop, depending on how far they want to go before they think they're going to need a rest stop. Sometimes we go to the rest stops that are designed by the ride organizers, and sometimes we go somewhere else depending on you know, what our riders think they're going to want to do. Sometimes they want to stop earlier than where the organized rest stop is, and sometimes they're not ready to stop where the organized rest stop is. It's too soon, and so you know, we go a little further out, and then we have in the back of our truck, we have water and food and support for our bike riders. But we usually end up at the organized stops because those also have porta potties, or that they are at a location that has the facilities for restrooms. So that's usually where we stop, but not always. But then we're on call for if something happens to one of our riders and we have to pick them up. Last time when we took this particular ride, one of our friends ended up with a bent spoke. We had to go take her bike to the bike shop and have it fixed. And I really like this without the little floral bits. I'm going to just draw this in with pencil and see if I like it on no. On this particular one, I don't really care much for these, this part of the pattern. I think I like it without. So I'm going to leave it without. I'm just not going to put that part in. If you want to see the other one that I've done, click on my other video and you can see what it looks like with that part in. But I really like it like this. Just kind of feels like a pineapple. I don't know, I really like it. So I'm going to leave it as is. I am going to color. And do some shading. Do some shading. I may color. I'm feeling like I want to color it. But I'm not sure. But I sure am feeling strongly. Well, let's shade first and then see how I feel. Blending is important. I'm just using a blending stump. All these people always ask me, what do you use? I missed drawing in there right there. Just a blending stump. You get that at any art supply store that does pencil art. I've never been to an art supply store that doesn't have blending stumps. You can use blending stump or a tortillon. If you don't have an art supply store near you, you live somewhere where it's hard to get to art supplies, a Q-tip will work. The end of your finger will work. A rolled up piece of paper will work. But these are super cheap. You get like 5 or 6 in a package for like $3. They're super cheap. I prefer the blending stump over the tortillon. The tortillon's like a rolled up piece of paper. A blending stump is more like a paper pulp pressed into a pencil shape. Mostly because I'm heavy-handed with them and I tend to smash and break the tortillons. Even when they give us the blending stumps that are the thinner ones, I tend to break them right here in the middle. So I put a piece of tape on them so that they're a little bit thicker and a little stronger, because I'm just hard on them. still feeling like I want color. Do you see like the pineapple kind of a thing going on there? I really like this. Okay. Going for Inktense. Got the 24 pack of Inktense. And I'm going to go for a yellow. I'm feeling pineapple-y here. I'm going to lay down some color and then I'm going to come back with my water brush, blend that out a little bit. If you get wiggly, I'm sorry. I think the tripod is up against my table again. Keep having to move my table to get to my windows. I've had to open and close them, open and close them. The temperature in here. Oh, hello, little neighbor dog. And yeah, so I keep having to move my table, and when I do that, it moves my tripod, it moves my lights, and yeah, causes issues. But that's alright. Okay, and then I want the apple green. Swell. I was hoping the dogs would be quiet today. They were so quiet this morning. I was like, oh good. Dogs aren't going to be barking. Maybe we can hear the birds singing. But apparently that's not going to be the case. You notice I'm not super careful because I know I'm going to come back with my water brush and activate these colors and spread them out a little bit, so I don't have to be super precise. And then do I want? I think I do. I'm going to put a brown. Do I want willow brown? Do I want baked earth? Do I want mustard? No, mustard is the wrong color brown. Do I want bark? I think I want willow. Okay. Pineapple colors it is. It's just the vibe I got. I should sign and put the name before I finish though. Do I want it that way? No, I want it this way. Okay, so it's going to be Backsplash, and it's going to go that way. That's how it's going to live. But I'm going to turn it this way so you guys can see the whole thing. And get my water brush. Looks like I'm going to need to fill my water brush soon. Make sure it's got some water to the tip. And I always just check it on my hand. I can feel the water and I know how much water is coming out, and that's what I do. I know the apple green's kind of a yellowy green, but that's okay. That's what I wanted. Just wanted a hint of green. I'm going to start with the greens. Don't want too much water on my paper because this isn't watercolor paper. It's just a piece of cardstock cut to, I don't know what size, about 5 by 7, 4 by 6, 6 by 8, I don't know. Somebody's gonna ask me. It's cut to approximately 6.5 by 4.5. There. Okay, and then my yellow, I'm going to do the brown last because I don't want my brush to have the brown on it when I go through the yellow. But that yellow is nice. Look how bright that is once you activate it. It's awesome. And you'll notice that I'm not getting like way coloring the whole thing. I want some of that background color to be still there. Nice thing about the Micron pens is that once they're pretty dry, they don't tend to smear with the water, which is a good thing. Not all pens can handle a watercolor or water media. And then again, some pens can't handle marker. So you kind of have to know how your supplies work with each other. So if you're going to do a drawing and you think you might use marker or watercolor or whatever other thing, if you think you might color it, make sure on a scrap page that you test your supplies and how they work with each other. Worst thing is when you have spent a long time making a drawing and then when you go to do your coloring you find out that your materials aren't compatible with each other and they make a smeary mess. That's sad, because especially if you really like your piece. Alrighty, that's it. Just a little color. Isn't that cute? Very pineapple-y. I like it. Whoops, wrong direction. Gotta go out just a little bit so I can get the whole thing in my viewfinder. I like it. It's different, and it looks different on a non-standard grid. And like I said, I didn't like that little puddly part, so I just didn't put it in. You guys can do that. It's okay. The part of creative pattern tangling is to take a pattern and be creative with it, and you don't have to follow it step by step. That's actually, it's better if you don't follow it step by step. You have a base. The pattern is a base for you to grow your art upon, rather than a roadmap that says this is exactly where you have to go. Think of it more like the difference between a street with sidewalks where you have to walk on the sidewalk and a park with green grass that has meandering paths, but you don't have to stay on the path. You can walk on the grass. You're allowed to. It's more like that. Think of the step out as the gravelly path on in a big park, but if you feel like running on the grass, do it. It's okay. You can. Just saying. Enjoy the grass. You guys have a great day. I will see you on the next video. We're going to do Fa La La, which I don't think I've ever done before. So that will be fun. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.